Hashtag Heathen here, along with Mrs. Snarky.
Missus Snarky is definitely Texan, because, I mean, come on. Who has big hair like this?
I think it's
except
cute.
for Dolly Parton kind of thing going on. Yeah.
I want like half of her boobs. Like,
I'm good with my boobs. Like, my back hurts already.
yeah.
I can't imagine.
I don't
like,
have that problem. Oh yeah, I can't imagine like her. Oof. And I know so many people are like, "Have you gotten a boob job?" And she's like, "No,
No.
no, this is just what I was given."
What the good Lord give me.
Yep.
Mm.
But yeah, final chapter this week. It is the end.
The end is nigh.
Which makes me sad and happy at the same time.
I know. It's a mixed bag, really. I mean, we're not going to be like getting together in the Zoom chat every other week. I mean, we could still do that.
Yeah, that's
that could
true.
Still be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could just talk about memes if we want, or
what?
Or nothing. I mean, we talk about cats. Look
I
at
don't
this
know.
cat. Oh my god. Look at this other cat. Oh.
Right? Well, it's better than focusing on reality right now.
Yeah, reality sucks.
Yep.
It's sucked the life out of my channel, I'll tell you that. I just couldn't. Like, for a while it was funny, and then it was like, oh my god, I can't even. It's like trying to drink out of a fire hose. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. So.
Yeah, the shit just keeps coming.
Yep. Diarrhea out of a fire hose.
2020, diarrhea.
Yeah.
Chapter 14, Filling the Empty Mirror and Ending the Narcissistic Legacy. Breaking the Cycle. Starts off with a quote, "Traumata stored in the brain but denied by our conscious minds will always be visited on the next generation." And that's Alice Miller in an online interview. And I think that's...
Very true.
Yeah, I think it's very important because, like, this goes back to the whole forgive and forget thing. Like, if you don't, like, acknowledge that trauma happened, you're not going to be able to cope with the effects.
Yep. You can't address them.
What did she say? Like, you can't heal what you don't feel, I think she said earlier in the book.
Something along those lines, if not exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And even like a lot of the stuff that we do address, I mean, there's usually something that we haven't thought of because, like we said before in many of the videos that we've done previous to this, and if you haven't watched them, go back.
Yes. If this is your first vehicle, there's a throwback. The OGs will get it.
Yeah, it's not a Nova. Anyways. But yeah, what was I saying?
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is our normal, right? We were raised in this. This is something that, we don't even realize is a problem necessarily. Mm-hmm. It's just how it is, how it's always been. It's the only thing I know until we get out in the world and we start experiencing, other family dynamics and talking to other people and friends. And
if you find them, I mean, she'll talk in this chapter about the people we pick for, romance and friendship. And a lot of the times that picker is off because of that different normal thing. But we'll go into that later.
Yeah. So in this chapter, you'll learn how to use your awareness of the narcissistic legacy and your desire to change it, to stop it from being passed along to your children. Daughters of narcissistic mothers commonly express fears that they may have learned or acquired narcissistic traits, then that then adversely affect their most intimate relationships and the roles of mothers, lovers, and friends. Elan Golem,
Gollum.
Golem,
My
Golem,
precious.
go. Sorry,
Sorry. I'm sorry, Elon. We're just making fun of him.
Elon, you're Jim,
Yes.
okay? You're the precious. I mean, you are.
Oh God.
Oh,
It's
that
good to laugh.
That name is cute.
Mhm.
Anyway, Elon Gold in the Trapped in the Mirror, I suppose this is a book, expresses this worrisome thought. Quote, if the parent has a narcissistic bent, the pressure to copy is strong. And this is very true, because we're raised to be an extension of mother, right? We went over this, as I said, other videos, go watch, that our mothers live vicariously through us. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
Oh. Oh, that popped my back.
Ah.
Okay. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yes. And our mothers, I'm going to pretend like nothing happened. Okay. That didn't happen. And our mothers tend to try to mold us into who I guess they envision themselves to be, because it's all about image, right? So that drive to copy mom, to be what mom wants, and etc. and so forth, it runs really deep. So
well, and it's the only example you have, right? So like, we didn't experience normal, healthy parent-child relationships, so how can you expect that somebody who went through that is just going to intuitively know how to parent differently? You know, there has to be some work done in between those two things to kind of end the cycle, break the cycle.
Definitely. And when it comes to nature versus nurture and all of that, it's both, right?
Yeah,
there's no argument. The argument is over. We have definitely found evidence that it's both. So when you are in an environment like this, there's a whole lot that you're fighting. But at the same time, if you don't, like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tired.
No.
Oh, fuck. What was I saying? I know I had a point.
Fighting the what you've learned from
mom. Fighting what you've learned in your environment, and also, fighting some genetic factors, of course. But in the end, it's an uphill battle for us to not display some of the traits. So it's really rough to look at, to examine these things, because we know the damage that mom did. So to still have those kind of traits going on is, it's pretty weighty.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The difference, though, is that while mom just denied it and felt attacked and therefore just totally ran away from this problem, we are looking into it. We are addressing it with everything, emotionally, intellectually, all of that. Anyway, yes. So hopefully my mind will wake up during this. Just full disclosure, y'all, I got up last night about 25 times to pee. So I am exhausted. And I know y'all just really wanted to know that, but that is the case. So bear with me here. So a look at parenting. For readers who have children, this this topic is of great importance. Many women I've interviewed across. Fuck. Can't read either. Many women I've interviewed express fears about their own parenting. Young mothers are typically more optimistic about their parenting skills, but as they and their children get older, some women begin to see some familiar effects of narcissistic behavior in their children. Understandably, they begin to panic. Um, and I'll go ahead and read this example here. Um, Quote, I tried to do everything different for my mother in raising my own children, but we still had problems. What can I do now that they are becoming teens and young adults? Pleads Scarlett, who is now in her 50s. She continues, I see my children not being accountable for their behavior and using substance abuse as a way to numb feelings. This terrifies me. Oof.
So common.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of like she forewarned in a previous chapter not to try to raise our kids in the direct opposite way as our mothers, because that also can produce a narcissistic slant, let's just say, in some of the behaviors of our kids. So there's a healthy balance to be had, and it's really tough to walk that line. It really is. Kids are they're difficult, and we're going to mess up. That's just inevitable. We're human, we're fallible. They don't come with an instruction manual, etc., cliche, and so forth. So she says, here's what I believe happened in my own passed down to my children. Admittedly, this is only my perception, and my children may disagree. As I was growing up, I had pinpointed many things that I did not want to do as a parent, and as an adult, I spent years studying child development and psychology to support me in changing generational patterns. From the moment my first child was born, I worked earnestly to parent differently. Despite all of this, I learned the hard way that how we behave in general shouts at our children, while our direct parenting interactions with them seem more like whispers. Even though, and that was metaphorical, just for the people that go, no, you shouldn't shout. We know.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I did everything I could to be as good a parent as possible, I still ended up modeling for them that I did not feel good enough within myself. This went on for a long period of time until I entered my intensive recovery program. Of course, I never told my children that they were not good enough, nor did I believe that for a minute, but they saw in my own struggle for worthiness how I viewed myself. And as I always point out, when it comes to children and behaviors and things, they tend to learn their behaviors through mirroring.
Mm-hmm.
They see us do something, they mirror that. So what you're actually like teaching your children, if it isn't compatible with your behavior, then your children are getting mixed messages. And they're more than likely going to go with the mirroring, because this is what mom does, must be good enough for her. So do as I say, not as I do, never works.
No, it really doesn't.
Not in the least bit. Okay. She goes on to say, it feels as if I inadvertently modeled that nasty message, which she did. That feeling is correct. And so passed it on against my will. In my clinical research, I have seen the same with other daughters. The behaviors and attitudes that we model for our children are of the utmost importance, because we can unconsciously pass along negative beliefs and attitudes. Our own recovery as mothers is a must. It's a must.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're reading this book and as we're doing the exercises and as we're analyzing our feelings and our behaviors and how we cope with the world, we must remember that it doesn't just affect us. Mm-hmm. It affects everyone around us. Even if you don't have children, it does affect the people that are around you. You do influence the people in your vicinity. Mm-hmm. And with children, though, I will say that it is much amplified
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
because,
a much closer dynamic than other sorts of relationships. Like the relationships I have is nothing like a parent child bond.
right, because the foundation, we're building the foundation for children.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they have a shaky foundation, we know as kids who did, um, it's a struggle to find any kind of grounding, any kind of healthy way of addressing the pressures of life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not only important for us to do the work of recovery just for ourselves. I would argue that that's the most important aspect of it
Mm-hmm.
is self-care, but it also it's not a completely selfish act to work on you.
Right.
It is also for those who you influence, especially if you have kids. So do the work, please. Um, I am dedicated to educating other women about this risk and necessity so that we can all work to eradicate the painful legacy of narcissism from our lives and our children's lives. Um, so yeah, I mean this kind of work it's also like not just the generations, of breaking free of narcissism, but it's also we're individuals and family units and a generation and a society. We are the ones that mold our world. So, it ripples out. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
important. No pressure. Um, but yeah, she says I'm sure I have other blind spots as a parent. My commitment to myself and my children is to keep all doors open for healing. I encourage you to do the same. To open the passageway for new understanding of each other is a great gift, one that for most adult daughters, yeah, for most adult
Mm-hmm.
daughters could never become more than a dream because of our own mothers could not be open to change. The good news is that it's entirely possible to change for our children and to change their legacy, and that legacy is important. Um, Begin to assess your own parenting. Acknowledge the painful reality that it is impossible to be a child of a narcissist and not be somewhat impaired narcissistically. Oh, that stings.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone raised this way has probably acquired a few traits of narcissism. I know this is not what you want to hear. I had trouble admitting it to myself, but you must face this before you can attempt to remedy it. She also reminds us that narcissism is a spectrum. Some people are going to be worse than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just minimal. Um, when you begin to work on accountability in this area, you may find that no one around you is supportive or reassuring as you would like. Your own inner voice may chime in and tell you this is yet another sign of, quote, not being good enough. I want to be clear and supportive with you in this matter. Identifying your own narcissistic traits and working on them is responsible and self nurturing, and it proves that you are taking yourself and your recovery seriously. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to learn to manage and control your own feelings and behavior. Remember, your recovery is lifelong. You can't tie it to 1 minute or the next. There is no need to feel shame or guilt. You are taking yourself out of the victim role and becoming an adult self that is strong, self reliant, and loving. A self that is quite good enough. Okay, so she says later on, when we make mistakes with our kids, it's difficult to let ourselves off the hook because errors affect those we love the most. Even when you had no narcissism in your background, it would still be impossible to be a perfect parent. Amen, girl. I have yet to meet one. In fact, if someone ever came to me in my role of mental health provider and claimed to be the perfect in the parenting realm, I would likely grab the DSM and begin to assess some kind of delusional disorder. Oh, that's so funny. I will always remember the day that my best friend Kay said to me after discussing some parental mistakes we both made, "I sure do like you better, Carol. Now that you have taken yourself out of the race for Mother of the Year." So, she's going to go ahead and go over some key tools to parenting in a healthy manner without narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
And I need a drink because my throat's getting scratchy.
Yeah. The first of those tools is empathy, which is a big one. Empathy tops
Shock.
Right. Empathy tops my list, as it is the cornerstone for love. Lack of empathy is, of course, a trademark of narcissistic mothers. Empathizing with your children is feeling what they are feeling and acknowledging those feelings. It is the art of compassion and sensitivity, as well as the ability to give moral support in whatever they are experiencing. You do not have to agree with them, but you are there for them. You put aside your own feelings and thoughts for the moment and tune into their emotional needs to attempt to understand where they are coming from and why. Instead of citing rules or trying to give advice and direction, try this empathy exercise instead. To empathize involves identifying the feelings that your child is expressing and telling him or her that you recognize the feeling in the moment. For example, I hear that you are angry, or you are feeling sad, or I see that you are very upset. Being able to show empathy to a child at any age makes him or her feel real as well as important as a person. And this is difficult to do when a child is upset with you. Whenever you find your child's feelings to be threatening or upsetting, remember that empathizing is not agreeing. It is acknowledging a real feeling. For example, my 5-year-old granddaughter asked for a cookie before dinner, and I said, "No, we can have one after dinner." In typical 5-year-old manners, she then said, "I hate you, Nana." Well, I know she doesn't hate me, and so does she. But she was angry that she did not get a cookie right then, and that was okay. I was able to say to her, "Honey, I know you don't hate your Nana, but you are mad right now because you want that cookie, and I understand that. I would like to have a cookie too right now, but we have to wait until after dinner. It is okay to talk about our mad feelings, though, and I'm glad you told me." In this example, my granddaughter needed to feel validated and acknowledged, and then she was just fine. The temptation in situations like this is to get angry back at the child and even punish her, which only makes the child feel as if she has to stuff or muffle her own feelings. Your anger or punishment will also make the situation worse, and feelings will escalate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anything further I can add to that. I mean, she said it all. If you react in anger, which I've done this, I have made this mistake a lot. I was reacting in anger and just being too tired to whatever to put up with whatever's going on. Mom, I don't like this, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And well, you're gonna eat anyway. I don't care, mm-hmm. That kind of thing, which is not helpful, and it doesn't validate feelings. And whenever you don't validate feelings, it gives the child the impression that their feelings don't matter, for one, and that it is okay. It is actually preferable to stuff them down, which, of course, we know psychologically is unhealthy. So acknowledging your feelings is important.
Mm-hmm. So she goes on to say, older children and teens often are purposely disrespectful to you.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, you do have to set boundaries, but in order for your child to feel heard, you still have to acknowledge the feelings behind the words. For example, an out-of-control teen may call her mother a derogatory name because she is angry about not being able to go to the mall, but the mother must set limits and consequences for this abusive behavior. At the same time, she can acknowledge the feeling that the child is upset. It is surprising to parents, the first time they do this, how effective it is in deflating kids' balloons of anger. The child can often become more reasonable because she has been seen and heard. She has been given a voice.
Yeah, that's really important because if you don't acknowledge what they're feeling, especially as a teenager, it just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I speak from experience in this.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Um, so yeah, it's important to do that. Although, if I'm called a derogatory name, I'm gonna be mad as hell. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I
I bet.
just you don't get to treat me like that.
Yep.
And I don't think that that's necessarily the wrong response. No, I might get some pushback, and that's fine. But I think that, once they're teenagers and if they're becoming abusive, they need to know that that's not okay,
Right.
and that that's going to get a response that they're not going to like. But it is, you can still at the same time acknowledge their own feelings and talk it through. But you don't get to call me a bitch and then think you're going to the mall, honey.
Right.
Just saying. Oh, goodness. So,
The next
yeah.
section is accountability. So, being accountable for your own feelings and behavior is vital to your mental health and peace of mind. As daughters of narcissistic mothers, what we saw most of the time was the blame game in action. Mother was typically not accountable for her behavior or feelings and projected them constantly onto others and particularly onto us. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And, like, as mothers, we're going to make mistakes. There have been times when I've been like, I know that there are eggs in the fridge or something. And, my teenager will tell me, no, there's no eggs. And I'll get like, nah, no, there's eggs in there, all indignant and stuff. And when I go in there and there's no eggs, I make sure to go out of my way to let them know that they were correct, that I was wrong, and I'm sorry for my reaction, because I think that that's important.
Yeah, it's really important.
It's important to let your kids know that you're not infallible. You're also a human being who makes mistakes sometimes, because if they get this impression that adults have to be perfect and never make mistakes, we're setting them up for disaster.
Yep.
And as I said before, it's all about mirroring, modeling, and etc. So whenever they make a mistake, they're going to model that behavior. They're going to admit that they're wrong, and they're going to make amends and try to make the situation better. So that's good stuff. And I think one of our jobs as parents is to model and teach our children good moral behavior. And one thing that I'm going to get a lot of bullshit for saying this, but a lot of our morality comes from feelings. We're not sitting around, discussing utilitarianism before we go and save somebody from a burning building. No, we're going to go in there and we're not going to think about it. We're going to feel that I got to do something, and you go and do it. It's a split-second thing. You're not rationalizing it or anything else. And more often than not, if you're rationalizing something, if you're sitting down and making calculations, well, does it, go into the, oh God, what is it called? Does it fit, virtue ethics, or does it fit blah, blah, blah? Then you're rationalizing. You're more often than not going to talk yourself out of doing the right thing. So that's just kind of my take on morality. I don't think that morality exists without other people. I think morality exists because we have to live together as a social species. And accountability and empathy are major pillars of this. So if you don't have empathy, you're not going to be able to make those split-second moral choices. And if you don't have accountability, you are you're a narcissist. Like straight up. If you could do no wrong, then that's definitely wrong. We're talking Trumpism wrong. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
Oh, you're fine. She says, when you are practicing accountability, you adopt a viewpoint that says, no matter what happens to me, it is my responsibility to manage my own feelings and behavior. No one can create my feelings, cause me to drink, force me to be aggressive towards others, make me depressed, make me hit or yell at my children, or drive too fast, or not follow the law, etc. I make my own decisions and have choices about almost everything. I am only a victim if I choose to be one. It is also important to teach your children that they need to be accountable for their behavior. You do that by setting boundaries and limits for them and imposing safe, healthy consequences on them whenever they overstep these limits. You do not use harsh disciplinary techniques or anything that smacks of shame or humiliation. You provide and constantly enforce boundaries about right and wrong with consequences that are age appropriate. If children are not taught accountability for their actions, they grow up with a feeling of entitlement, which is a trait of narcissism.
Yeah, what did I say? It's narcissism. If you're not accountable, that's what you're going to end up being. And speaking of entitlement. While it is important for our children to feel special in our eyes, it is not important for them to feel special in everyone's eyes. Oh, child. It is imperative that they truly believe other people's needs are just as important as theirs. You can teach your children that by modeling respect for others and teach them to appreciate that each individual has his own special qualities to bring to the world. A child can learn to see herself as unique, but also as one of many people in a large community of human beings on Earth. Yeah! She does not have to stand out from the crowd to be fulfilled or have peace within. To ensure that you are not encouraging entitlement in your children, focus on guiding, directing, and assisting them in gathering a sense of consciousness about their place in the world around them and their connections and responsibilities to others. Many parents seem to be pressuring their kids in academics and sports to be the best at all costs. This pressure to, quote, have and to, quote, achieve too often bypasses basic principles of personal accountability. Do not overrate your child's abilities or talents. Be realistic about her accomplishments and give her credit for what she does achieve. Be involved in her successes and praise her for what she accomplishes, but don't push her to the point that she feels, quote, not good enough for not living up to your expectations. This can create confusion, resentment, and a sense of entitlement in your child. Oof.
Yeah. That was a big one for Mom. Like, she did make me feel like I did need to stand out in a crowd, that I did have to be the best of the best in order to be recognized, or if you weren't, then you're just ignored. You know, like, second place is the first loser sort of mentality. And, like, I still fight with this today. Like, I'm learning a new video editing program, and the moment I can't do something, I'm like, oh, well, just drop it then. Just forget it.
Oh my God. I've had the same experience, and I cannot count how many projects I started and never finished because of that. And it's crippling, especially when, you know, you're when you really do feel this urge, just drive to do something in the world that is good, you know. And a lot of times it's kind of like she brings up in the book. Sometimes it's the little stuff that really makes the biggest impact. It's the stuff that we don't even think about, that we have done or said to someone that really changed their lives. And I think that, that's something that needs to be acknowledged as well. We don't have to be like, president of the United States to make an impact on our world.
Right.
While we may not have a whole lot of power, we do have influence with the people around us. So, especially for raising kids. The future generation, oh my God, it's so weighty.
I bet.
So,
the next section is very, very, very important.
Yes.
Values, principles. Teaching children values is crucial to their development, but of course you first have to know what you believe in and what you don't. In talking to hundreds of people in psychotherapy sessions over the years, I'm constantly amazed at how many folks don't know what to say when I ask them about their worldview or their value system. Since you've gone through your own recovery, however, you now have an understanding of your beliefs and values.
I do?
Yeah, we did a couple exercises in that.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that I did.
Snarky didn't do the homework.
Slacker. My dog ate it, okay?
Yeah, sure. And she says, I hope that you see how crucial it is to teach the importance of honesty, integrity, kindness, empathy and compassion for others, forgiveness, healthy self-esteem and self-care, and the difference between what is right and wrong. These days, many parents seem to pay more attention to how their child looks than to how he or she treats others. The best way to teach a value system is to model it for your children. That goes back to the mirroring that Snarky was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
There it is. Sorry, I lost my place.
I do that all the time.
Show them that values matter by dealing with them and others honestly, kindly, compassionately, and with integrity. Teach them the importance of self-respect and self-care by taking good care of yourself. Use examples from the neighborhood, television, movies, school, and the daily news to discuss your values. Whatever activity your child is involved in can become a classroom for teaching a value and modeling right from wrong. Be careful not to be harsh, critical, or judgmental. Simply express and show how you would handle a situation kindly, assertively, and with integrity. Make sure that your children's activities involve giving to others or helping in some way. At first, they may just learn to be helpful to others, and eventually they can perform work in the community. Giving back teaches that other people are important. I think that's a really good idea, and I do think that kids should volunteer when it is like age appropriate.
Yeah, and when there's not a whole lot of COVID going around.
Right? Yeah, no, don't send your kids out right now, please. Please.
Yeah. I actually my teenager has not seen their friend in forever. So yesterday I was like, okay, she can come over, but y'all got to be outside 6 feet apart with masks on.
Mm-hmm.
And you can talk to each other. And you know what? That made a whole world of difference.
Oh, I bet.
They had really missed each other.
Mm.
And as much as my teenager likes to say that they don't like people, ew, they are a social butterfly. And you know it if you're watching this. But yeah, I was going to say something, but when it comes to political values, this is tough.
Dun dun dun.
I speak from experience. If you have a teenager that's on Facebook, that's on Twitter, that's on Instagram,
I bet they're seeing everything.
That watches even YouTube meme shows, right? You're gonna get it's inevitable. Mom, did you know taxation is theft? And
we've gotten in trouble so much over this shit.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to deal with that kind of stuff.
But it does. It is really appealing to, when I learned about communism, and they're just everybody gets what they deserve, and it's all perfect, and it's great. I was like, well, shit, let's do that.
Yeah.
But then I learned how it is implemented, and I saw examples of it in the past and in the present not working and not being perfect. And I went, well, wait a minute. You know, the concept is great. It's amazing. But you can't implement it without these problems. And I imagine with the internet and, you know, being exposed to everything.
Propaganda. It's everywhere.
That they're gonna have a lot of questions.
And to be fair, you know, whenever the printing press came out and they actually started making pamphlets and books and newspapers that were propagandist, you know, there was the same problem and people didn't know what to do. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. We'll deal with this new era of propaganda. But at the same time, when you're a parent and your kid comes up to you and says taxation is theft, as if they have totally explored it.
Yeah.
And they know because meme.
A 2-second meme and their life, their entire worldview shifts.
Yeah. So it's what I did was, you know, we spent some time on Google and we pushed back against this claim. We looked into it and they weren't very happy. It turns out, you know, it's really funny. People don't tend to enjoy research. It's weird. But
well, I mean, they'll be needing to do it. They're in high school, right?
Yeah.
We had so many research projects that we had to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was like a couple years ago, but still. Oh boy. So, you know, we said, well, let's find out if it truly is theft.
Yeah.
And we looked into all the different things that taxes pay for, you know, roads and, you know, all the different things that taxes pay for in terms of incentives of bringing business. And, you know, we wouldn't have a Pizza Hut here if it weren't for taxes. So, you know, oh, I like Pizza Hut. Shit, I'll take that way.
Well, there, yeah, that's all you had to say, Mom.
Yeah, like, do you think like the money that the police are paid each week just comes out of thin air?
Right.
And,
yeah.
You know,
or you like know that. The fact that if you have a fire, there's a fire department for you to call. There's a school for them to go to.
Yeah. And well, what about the ones that we pay? Well, I mean, not everybody can afford to pay the firemen to, you know, try to save their home. So, yeah. And the first fire, we even looked it up, Rome, where they had the first fire, you know, people, and they would just stand there and watch a home burn down because the person couldn't afford to pay them.
Yep.
So, taxation stuffed my ass.
But I mean, your approach there is so much better than just saying, no, it's not. You'll learn. And that was, I got that so much from Mom about politics or economics or, you know, oh, well, you'll learn later on that that's not true. And that was the end of the conversation.
How the hell are you supposed to learn if you're not taught?
Yeah. So, you know, I would have questions and she'd be like, you know, I'm not your dictionary, I'm not your encyclopedia. And you'll learn later. And I'm just like, well, when do I get to learn the answer to it? Like, is there an age restriction on this question? You have to be so old to answer it? Like...
Yeah, you have to show your ID when you enter the library. I mean,
I have a question.
Am I old enough? Is this rated like NC-17 or whatever? No, like recently, like ever since I kind of like gave that foundation of, okay, this is how you research, I've kind of been like, you know what, Google it. Google these words. Because I'm a parent. Like I've got shit to do. Okay. So I can explain how to find the information.
Right. And
and
when they're
take my
old enough to
time.
do so, it is worth it to have them
Yeah.
research.
Once you teach them how to do it, and then they come up to you with some asinine thing, which they will,
Mhm.
they just be like, "Look, I told you how to research this. Go and do that, and then come back and we'll have a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you've learned. But right now, I'm trying to make fajitas, okay?" So I think this is really important, especially when, you've been raised the opposite. So value their personhood, not only their accomplishments. Your love for your children needs to be based on who they are and not merely what they can do. As the daughter of a narcissistic mother, you were taught that what you did was more important than who you were. So likely you grew up feeling that your parents didn't even know the real you. Oh my God, so true. Know who your children are. Know what they like and dislike and what they are interested in, separate from you and your interests. Oh boy, I do this very well.
Was that sarcastic?
No, it wasn't. Which is yay, that's one mistake I didn't make. So I've made a lot of them. Anyway, value their good heartedness and kindness as well as their sense of humor and intelligence. Don't define them by what they do. My son, the soccer player, my daughter, the ballet dancer. If you allow your children's self esteem to be centered on their accomplishments, you are setting up another generation of achievement dependent narcissists who have to be stars to feel good about themselves. Oh my God, this is such a huge problem nowadays.
Me.
Oh, God. Reality TV
Oh,
broke the world. I'm just saying.
but Kim
Um,
Kardashian, I need to know what she's doing.
yeah.
I don't
No,
give two shits.
I really don't need to know. Um, anyway, give them credit where credit is due whenever they realize their goals or visions. Let them know that you are very proud of what they've done, and you will also love them just as much as if they do not become CEOs or star basketball players. When I was working on this book, an old friend called me to catch up. He told me his son has just received a basketball scholarship for college. But I talked more about his son's big heart than about his scholarship. But talked more about his son's big heart than about his scholarship. My friend is proud of his son's accomplishment, but also really loves his son for who he is. What an artful balance.
I can't
Now,
imagine that. Like, I have
I'm
such issues from this.
I I know. I know.
Like,
And
I'm
what's
constantly saying, well, if as soon as somebody says, or hints that I'm not a good person, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. What do I do for
Ugh.
society? And it shouldn't be based on that. I shouldn't
No.
feel that just because I'm disabled, I'm not worth anything. Like, that's such a bullshit thing and so harmful.
Yeah, it is. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you have so much compassion and empathy for people. You are a very good friend. You're a very good listener. You are very knowledgeable in things, for one.
You too.
And and you bring a lot of laughter to the world. You really do. You have a great sense of humor, and that is some shit that we need right now. I'm telling you. And I
Well,
love
thank you.
it. You're amazing.
You
And
too. Seriously. Like,
now,
I've never had a friend that is as decent as you are.
oh God, I'm gonna cry. Oh Jesus. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, but yeah, just to talk about my kid for a minute. They are a born activist. Like they care so much about the vulnerable. And, I see a lot of promise in that. I see someone who genuinely cares about people and is going to impact the world one way or another, come hell or high water. Like, even if they're not making a whole lot of money, even if they're not, some big newspaper star or whatever, I'm always going to value that compassion and that actually just passion for human beings that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they've always been so kind. They've always been so attentive. Like if you're not feeling well, even if you're a stranger, when they were a little kid, they would see someone who was hurt and go, "Oh, are you okay? Can I help you?" And it's just,
Oh,
oh my God. I
that's
love that.
awesome.
I love that. My little sweetheart. So, authenticity. Encourage your child to be real. Authentic expression of self and feelings is the route to becoming a centered person. We daughters learn to be fake in the narcissistic system. Don't pass the image focus on to your kids. They can be appropriate and real as well as assertive and respectful of others and their boundaries. It's okay to be who you are, even if some people prefer something else. Not everyone has to like you or your children. Allowing authenticity means accepting your child's feelings and encouraging her to express them even when you disagree or they upset you. It means that you don't teach her to lie to look good or to deny what she perceives as real. No more elephants in the living room that no one discusses, but everyone knows are there. They don't have dysfunctional secrets in the family, and ask your child to keep them to themselves. You can teach him that he does not have to lie to himself or others to keep up an image. We all know from painful experience how crazy making that is. Oh my God, it
Yeah.
is. I recently observed a mother telling her crying child, "Oh, we don't cry. People don't like sad children." Oh, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
The child quickly clammed up. It was obvious that this was a familiar message to her. The danger in doing this with children is that it teaches them to deny their feelings, sacrifice their true selves, and adopt an image that is acceptable to the parent. Guard against this in your communications with your children. If you pressure them to put on a facade, you leave them no choice but to believe that their true selves are unacceptable. Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
crushing. It's absolutely crushing.
Yeah. And I get the message a lot too. Like, don't cry in public. Don't make a big deal in public. Um, things like that. The image was always so important. And so, like, to this day, it is much easier for me to just not say something if something is bothering me than to say something. Granted, I'm getting better, but, like, it's still an issue.
Yeah, that is the toughest. Really. When you've been suppressed for so long that sorry, I really relate to that.
Mm.
It mm, it hurts. It hurts to feel like who you are at your core isn't good enough.
Yeah.
It it hurts to feel like when you're upset, you can't express it to anybody. Nobody can be there for you because you can't tell anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a lonely, lonely world. Image be damned.
Yeah.
I want to be open to support. I want to be open to support someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like one of the main drives that I know I have, and I'm going to assume most people have. I know you do, Casey. But I just can't imagine not being able to do that and not caring,
Mm-hmm.
not putting that in, you know, at least the top three priorities
Mm-hmm.
in terms of who I am as a person is supportive and open to be supported. supported emotionally.
Mm-hmm. So the next section talks about parental hierarchy. Your children are not supposed to be your friends. Keep boundaries between parents and children. All children are meant to be on the same level. Don't share adult information with them and overload them with your adult problems, which mom did a lot.
Oh, mine too. Oh
Oh,
my god.
overshare. Like, I'm not toddler, but adolescent. And she's talking to me about, why she divorced dad and how their relationship was and yada yada yada. And I'm just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it just felt like, I don't know, it felt like she wanted me to fix these problems that she brought up, and I just had no tools for doing so.
Yeah. And it would have been totally different if you'd have went up to her and been like, "Hey, why did you and why did you and dad break up?" But her just venting about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
But
Yeah, same with my mom.
yeah.
Oh my god. She wanted me to look at the bills. Like all the time. She said, "We're gonna go over the bills." I'm like, why? I'm 13.
Right.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
like, I get where she was coming from, but and then a lot of the stuff that went on between my parents and everything was she would just unload all this negative bile about my dad, which was fair to be truthful. But then it was whenever we got into a fight, I was just like him, and that was just
Yeah. That's
terrible,
not cool.
terrible stuff. So yeah, it is important to have like appropriate conversations with your kids, and when it comes to the boundaries, being your kid's friend is not gonna help them at all.
No.
Like it's one thing to be open to them emotionally, to be a place where they know they can always come to for guidance and comfort and things like that, and talk to about anything. But it's quite another to be a friend. My mom was a friend. um she bought my cigarettes and my drinks, took me to the bar. That was not good. Okay.
No.
So yeah,
Mm.
maintain the boundaries.
Yep. Uh, she says, refer to the healthy family hierarchy in chapter 4. It is not your children's job to meet your needs. It is your job to meet theirs. Maintain appropriate boundaries for each person's separate space in the family and in the home. Respect each other's property and personal bodily space. Teach children how to say no in assertive ways so that they are not walked over by others. This will help them develop a separate sense of self. Parenting a child is a monumental task, the most rewarding and the most difficult you may undertake. No one can do it perfectly. That's just fine. If you are aware of the above factors, however, you allow yourself a healthier awareness than your parents had when raising you. That in itself is a tremendous gift.
Yeah. I don't go into my teenager's room without knocking.
What? Oh my god, mom demanded access to everything, even when we were in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
Well, my mom generally didn't care enough to go in my room. However, she did get this boyfriend that I went to a friend's house, and when I came home, they had gone through my whole room.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
And left it in disarray. I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure that what it was is I did not like the guy because he was doing drugs in the house, and he was they were fighting all the time, breaking glass, this kind of thing. And I and he knew that I did not approve of him being there. So I guess to get back at me, he had my mom go through my room. He went through my
Jesus.
room and my mom was there.
Wow.
Yeah, assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Okay, relationship with others. Narcissistic traits that you unwittingly required will also haunt you in your relationship with others. Recognize these traits so you can get control of them. This will be difficult, but that does not mean you are not a good person. Nor does it mean that you are not good enough. It means you're human and you have issues related to a painful, difficult childhood. As an adult, however, you want to become totally accountable and take an honest look in the mirror. You can move past the pain and sadness and experience and allow yourself to grow emotionally and integrate the many complex parts of yourself.
Yep. It affects everything.
Yeah, it does. Really does. And it's important always to analyze yourself, your emotions. Do a check-in, see how well you are being accountable to, your actions and things.
Mm-hmm.
And back to the Eternal Mother as your guide, which of course was in a previous chapter where we discussed this. So if you want to go back to that, you can. I forget which chapter it was.
Chapter 12.
Whatever. Yeah. Casey's on this, y'all.
It's in the paragraph on the page. So.
Oh, shit. Well, you're still on it. More than me, obviously. You can readily recognize your growth or lack thereof in love relationships because they trigger our innermost unmet needs. In love, we attempt to overcome past traumas, but usually we're looking to our love partners to give us the love lacked in childhood. These attempts are misguided, but we repeat them until we complete recovery. This is why so many daughters of narcissistic mothers go through many failed relationships. Rely on your own internal mother. Listen. Learn to reparent and freshly parent the wounded child by allowing yourself to feel the self-respect that your internal mother provides. Clean out the trauma so that positive new messages stay within you and so that you can rely on the internal mother. Then you can adjust your relationship picker so that you are attracted to different kinds of appropriate lovers who are not dependent or codependent. If you need to work further on the internal mother, refer back to chapter 12, of course. Yeah. So this is an important message, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Freud fucked us. With
the cigar.
With the cigar. And he made all of our booty holes wet. No. No, with the idea that, we inherently look for our mother and father and the love and unmet needs, which, while true, is not healthy, right? It's kind of an automatic what we go to sometimes, especially if our needs are unmet. However, it's something that we need to work on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we need to grow beyond. And we're adults. We need to stand on our own 2 feet, so to speak, metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's very good advice there.
The next section, finding the love of your life. It is time now to throw away the old criteria for how you were choosing and behaving with love partners. If you are accosted... No. No. If you are accustomed to listing image characteristics such as, is he good looking? Is he financially well off? Does he have an impressive job? Does he drive a classy car? Can he dance? Now is the time to start asking different questions. Is he good looking on the inside? Can he manage his own feelings and behavior like he manages his own company? Can he show and feel authentic feelings and display empathy? Can he genuinely love himself and me? Can he dance internally with his own soul and mine? Now that you are well into the recovery trail, consider choosing a lifetime mate according to the following meaningful factors. If you are in a marriage or relationship, consider whether these factors below are present enough. And she says, the reference to he below is for convenience only and does not imply that the information is intended only for heterosexual relationships.
Yeah.
So,
Oh gosh, these are good traits though. When you're with him, is he kind and compassionate? Does he act with integrity? Is he committed to, or does he have capacity for, a lifetime of learning and growing with you? Is he capable of genuine empathy? Is he interested in working through pain and problems? Does he have his own personal style, life, interests, hobbies, and passions separate from yours? Oh my God, boy, do they. Are most of your values and worldviews, philosophies of life similar?
yes, requirement.
Yeah, definitely a requirement. And yes, they are. I'm lucky.
Me too.
Do you share common interests so that you can be playful and spend leisurely time together that you both enjoy? Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. So we got this new couch, right? And used to, we had like these separate recliners. So we were like kind of far away from each other. I couldn't reach them. But yesterday I started like poking them. And anytime I poke them, because they can't really see on this side, they would jump. It was great. I was so happy. I'm going to do it again today. Shh.
Nice.
They do that to me in the car, though, when they're driving.
Oh, jeez.
They'll be like, deflate your boob, and they'll poke me in the boob. And I hate it.
Right?
Oh, you don't like your boob deflated?
No, in fact, I don't.
One, it's not a balloon.
Yeah, you don't deflate your boobs.
Yeah, that's not how that works, dear. But it's fun. It's playful shit. So, does he have a good sense of humor? Yeah. Does he use it without hostility, but with a good heart?
Most of the time, yeah. The hostility is usually warranted, if it does come up.
Maddie will joke about things that aren't jokes. They're just, oh, I see that we're thinking about putting a cat in the house, huh? Or something. And it's yeah, but it's just a joke. No, it's not. It's not, Maddie. I know it's not a joke. Anyway, I said cat in the house because I couldn't think of anything else because I'm still tired. All right, moving on. Does he want to be your best friend and soulmate, and is he capable of doing that? Does he act like your best friend? Fuck yeah. Does he talk about his feelings and yours, and is he in touch with his own emotional world as much as they can be?
Yeah, this is a big one. Greg doesn't do the whole feelings thing. Has a really hard time discussing feelings.
Yeah, and it's a tragedy of like our patriarchal society and the whole toxic masculinity thing that men are taught that, oh, feelings, no, we don't do that,
right?
And that's a case by case thing. I mean, that what I just said was a general statement. There are instances where, talking about emotions can be a bit too heavy because of their personal experience, or like, in Maddie's case.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, in Maddie's case, it's more of a, like, an autism spectrum kind of thing. There's some feelings that, can be easily touched upon. others are more of a challenge to face.
Mm-hmm.
So, just kind of take this one with fluidity, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Greg, I think a lot of it stems from when his mom passed, and then he was the oldest and had to kind of step in a role as almost like a parental figure.
Had to
And
suck it up, huh?
yeah, he had to be the strong one for his sisters. So, it's not easy for him to discuss feelings.
Yeah.
Every now and then
Yeah.
we can, but
Yeah, and we all have our personal issues that,
mm-hmm.
come into play. So, pardon. Can he handle ambivalence and shades of gray and not be too rigid about failures and weaknesses in you, himself, and in others?
Mm-hmm.
In me and themselves, not so much. In others, not so much. it's once again, those who are on the autism spectrum tend to be pretty, I don't want to say rigid. There's more of a black and white kind of thinking. And there's more of a, logical kind of thing. Well, if they did this really awful thing, then I'm just done.
Yeah.
And like, I get that. I'm a lot more diplomatic. I have a lot more shades of gray.
Yeah, I see that.
Even though I'm also, I suspect I'm on the spectrum because it's different in girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. But yeah, I see gray pretty much everywhere. I do draw the line at like Nazis and commies, and
God.
There's no good people on both sides.
No.
Yeah, kind of thing. So I do have, yeah. Does he add to your soul life as well as your marital life, therefore making your world a wonderful place to be when you're in it? Now, I wouldn't say soul, but material life, not marital life.
Yeah, kind of. Does he contribute more than just material things?
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Oh my god. Can you, I can't imagine going through the health struggles that, being a partner to somebody going through that. I can't imagine. And he's been with me 12 years now, so.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, the world is much better with Maddie in it. I'm actually genuinely happy being with them. So, does he bring out the best in you? Definitely. I'm very, I don't know. I like to bounce different ideas around, and a lot of times I'm wrong, and Maddie will put me in my place, and not in a misogyny way. No,
right? Yeah,
I mean in a reality way. No, that's not how that works, honey. That's and in many ways, Maddie is my moral compass. We'll discuss things, and a lot of times I don't see when something is the wrong thing to do or the right thing to do, and Maddie will put it in perspective for me, because as I said before, I see a lot of gray. A lot of times it's really confusing, so we balance each other out in that regard, so it's good stuff.
So the next section is your recovery tasks in love relationships. Now that you're choosing a different kind of love relationship or working to enhance your current one, what do you have to be aware of in your own recovery? You can find the mate that matches the authentic love list, but unless you keep on the path to recovery, your relationship will be unhappy and unsatisfying. Here are your important tasks for the relationship work. Remember to reciprocate. The relationship has to be a give and take, and you need to be able to give and receive with grace and love. Giggity. Your love for him is for the person that he is, not what he can do for you or what you can do for him. That's one I struggle with, especially the what you can do for him part, because there's not a whole lot I can do materially, and it's just figuring out that I can contribute much more than just material things. So,
well, I mean, honestly, like, the more important stuff, in my opinion, is the stuff that's not material. The stuff, the supportiveness, the empathy, always knowing that there's someone there that gives a fuck is so, so important.
If or when your unfinished business with mother gets triggered, go back to the healing steps and work on them, fully owning that this is your work to do. And if he is interested in working on it with you, he is a prince for sure, but it is primarily your job. Let him know in the very beginning that your trust was impaired in early childhood, and that trust is a lifelong recovery issue for you. Continue to work on trust issues without projecting them onto him.
That's vital. Very vital thing.
Fight your own dependency needs so that you do not behave in dependent or codependent ways with him. Interdependency is a must for a healthy relationship. Keep boundaries around your personal space and encourage him to do the same as well. Allow each other privacy when needed. Whenever this is difficult, discuss it promptly. And I used to have just this, like, I need to know what you're doing over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on your computer? What are you doing? Huh?
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing he really could be doing that affects me. So, like, unless he's ordering a hit on me, which I don't think he would do.
Nah. Don't think so.
But yeah, like, I have come to be just be comfortable in accepting that there are boundaries, that I don't need to know everything he's doing at every moment.
Right.
And one thing that helps me with that is remembering how invasive it was for Mom to want to know everything about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and not really caring about that, just, caring about how it would affect her.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, I didn't like feeling that way, so let's give him some space.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, that's a really big step. Just acknowledging that and implementing it, and coming this far with it. It's good. Give yourself credit.
Give myself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Be authentic and yourself at all times. Take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. Expect him to do this as well, but know that you cannot control or demand it. And you can't force it. You can just be supportive, but not overbearing, I guess.
Yeah.
Above all, be accountable for your own feelings and behavior. And this last one I haven't read. If he is ever misguided and tells you that you are acting just like your mother, gently tell him never to say that again.
Gently.
We had one issue. I was out in, like, Minneapolis, I think, for more doctor stuff. And, like, I can't do a lot of housework, so our place is cluttered. Well, they ended up needing to do an apartment inspection, and I wasn't home to help him, like, pick up stuff. And he was really frustrated because it was mostly my stuff. And he had said, I just don't want to live in a place like your mother's. And I went silent. I went radio silent, and I talked to my sister, and she's like, just, talk it over with him, and,
yeah,
let him know that is a real big issue with you.
Don't ever do that again.
Right? I pretty much said so in not so nice words. It wasn't gently.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done it again. So
it's a tall order to say gently.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever fucking do
And
that.
that phrase is just so triggering.
Ooh.
You know, and he didn't even come out and say it just like you're being just like your mother, but it was insinuated.
Right.
And immediately that's where my brain went.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh my god, I'm this horrible person. If I'm just like her, then blah, 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 blah. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a whole rabbit hole of
Boy,
awful.
is it.
Now, this part is has really impacted my life. I probably won't read the whole thing, but I'll read the important stuff. Okay? Okay. You and your friends. Choosing and keeping cherished friends can be a challenge for daughters of narcissistic mothers, but many of the keys in a healthy relationship discussed above can apply to friends too, especially reciprocity, dependency, codependency, and boundaries. Reciprocity is essential to a healthy friendship. There has to be a give and take, just like in love relationships. This give and take does not always have to be in the same moment, but in general, there should be a balance. If one friend is always the giver and one friend is always the taker, the relationship is either dependent or codependent. If you happen to be going through a time when you know you cannot be reciprocal due to some life crisis or big project in which you're involved, let your friends know this. Don't be unfair to yourself and to them and give anyway if you are drained by your own crisis. Inform them and reassure them that you will be getting back to reciprocating when your crisis is over. Setting boundaries when hurtful things are said to you is important as well. To maintain an authentic friendship, you have to be able to respond to an offensive statement or action with "that was hurtful to me," or "I would be more comfortable if you did not talk about this or do this right now." If your friend is alarmed or amazed and you have to explain yourself, then you need to explain yourself and talk it through. Setting clear boundaries and discussing these boundaries are part of being authentic with the people that we care about. Now, one thing about this part is I've had quote unquote friends that I've set boundaries with that they just totally trampled all over.
Yep.
And I had to just be like, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you need to do that, that's fine. It's totally fine.
Yep, and I had a couple that couldn't stand that I couldn't go out to the bars with them when I was going through chronic pancreatitis.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm sorry, but if that's your only way to value me, then I guess go ahead. But yeah, they stopped talking to me over it.
Wow. It also says, it talks about how many daughters of narcissistic mothers report that they have difficulty with female friendships. And she believes that this reaction to female friends is a carryover from narcissistic mother who was entitled, needy, and demanding too much of the time. If a female friend begins to act like this, you may recoil and run for cover before exploring what is really going on. You may not be communicating well enough for your friend to understand your own needs and boundaries, or you may be choosing friends who are similar to your mother. In the latter case, you may need to start exploring new friendships with women who are emotionally strong and whose interests are similar to yours. Find women who can add to your life rather than drain you. Search for female friendships that offer a match to your strength and celebrate your authenticity and passions in life. Too often, daughters complain that other women are competitive and jealous, which may lead to a flashback in their childhood. Make sure that those friendships are not simply triggering an internal collapse before you even write them off. But if the women are competitive and jealous, narcissistic, avoid them if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Find authentic female friends who celebrate you and allow you to celebrate them. Such women are a celestial gift and very much worth expending the effort to find. Spending time around healthy people is a must.
Like you.
Likewise. A celestial gift indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
And this section, the mirror, chances are you've been assessing yourself as you have read through this book, and you may have found some narcissistic traits on which you need to work. Facing them honestly is very important for your recovery to be complete. You don't have to feel bad about them or not good enough. You just need to be accountable. Below is a version of the 9 characteristic traits listed in the DSM, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. The same traits you reviewed in regard to your mother. Let's look at the checklist.
And before we look at this list, I just want to say, holy crap, she just dumped it on us right at the end.
Right? Yeah. Just like,
what the fuck? What the fuck? This is not an afterthought. This is like, but like I get why she did it, but at the same time, it's like, this threw me for a loop, y'all.
Right.
So let's find out if we're narcissists.
Yes. So, number 1, do I exaggerate my accomplishments and say I have done things that I have not done, and do I act more important than others?
Have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I have, and one thing that I will do is I will summon this when I'm dealing with someone who has insulted me to no end. They're cockroach. That's and I know that, like, I reached this point where I'm just like, you're not even worthy of talking to me. Here's a bunny gif. You know? And that's kind of, I don't know. I find it as a balance, maybe, you know? And yeah, I'm an asshole, but shit, what's a bitch gonna do?
Right.
Like,
I can be a royal bitch, yeah.
You gotta protect yourself. People will run you right over. Anyway.
Yeah. Am I unrealistic about my thoughts and desires regarding love, beauty, success, intelligence? Do I seek power in these things? I don't necessarily seek power in those things, but they are pretty important to me.
Yeah, like, with love, definitely. And success used to be, like, a lot more important. And as did intelligence. Like, and that's why I think for a long time, feeling stupid really made me insecure and stuff like that. But yeah, seeking power, I don't know. Maybe a lot of this stuff really applies to before I started really getting into recovery. And, you know, hopefully I'll get better and I won't, you know, treat people like cockroaches when they insult me on the internet. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Yeah.
Number 3, do I believe that I am so special and unique that only the best institutions and the highest academic professionals could possibly understand me? No, I don't.
Well, I do.
I do?
Oh my god, I do.
You're so special and unique.
Yeah. And if I don't get the grades that I'm entitled to, it's their fault.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, it can't be me.
No.
The Scantron machine is broken. Oh god. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine being that. Oh my god.
Number 4, do I need to be admired all of the time to the point of excess? No. I mean, it's nice sometimes, but...
Suburban women! Will you like me? Please like me.
Love me!
Sorry.
Number 5, do I have a sense of entitlement and expect to be treated differently and with more status than others? Not really. I don't think I'm entitled to much.
I am apparently not even entitled to my opinion.
Right, yeah.
So
that I learned yesterday.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not entitled to tell people that they're wrong about something.
Right.
God, that's bizarre. Anyway, no, I don't feel like I'm the cockroach, you know? Like, I've been the cockroach or the workhorse my whole life. So, no. No.
Number 6, do I exploit others to get what I want or need? No.
Sometimes.
I don't know. Like, maybe I do, but, like, I don't like using people. I don't know. Like, maybe I need to take a step back and look at that, but
I do for little stuff like chocolate. It's ridiculous. Like, please can I have chocolate? You know? Or it's silly. It's just really silly. I think on some level, most people do exploit others to get what they need and want. And the key to this is like balance, reciprocity. Once again,
right.
like if you're just like if it's all about you, then it is exploitation. If reciprocity is going on, then it's a relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Number 7, do I lack empathy and therefore never see what others are feeling or needing? Can I put myself in other people's shoes? Can I show empathy? Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't lack empathy. And most of the time, I can put myself in other people's shoes. Is what I meant.
Most of the time, I can't put my feet in other people's shoes because my feet are too big.
Oh, mine are tiny.
Oh, shut up, you.
Okay.
But Maddie says my feet are dainty and gorgeous, and I'm just like, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, like there are some times when, like, if you're going to a Trump rally and you think, well, I don't care, forget it, and like, gotta protect me. Talk about entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't give two fucks.
Right, yeah. Those are the people I can't really empathize with.
Yeah, and my empathy only goes so far.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
but
Trump has taught me that.
But I do have that classic bleeding heart that a liberal should have.
Yes.
And I have been so manipulated because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think this is all a matter of balance.
Mm-hmm. Number 8, am I jealous and competitive with others or unreasonably, without logic, think that others are jealous of me? I don't think people are jealous of me.
I'm jealous of you.
Like,
you got the tiny feet.
The feet thing?
And and you can pull off red.
Well... nah.
I'm just kidding. I've come to the realization that I'm a ginger. A whole lot of things I can't wear. And I got humongous feet. But they hold up a very strong constitution.
Hell yeah. And number 9, am I a haughty person who acts arrogant and better than with my friends, colleagues, and family?
Sometimes I am.
Sometimes when they're like doing something I definitely don't agree with.
Look,
I can be what's
this
petty.
This is a bad time to ask this question.
Yeah.
Because the majority of my family and the people in this area are Trump supporters.
Trump 2020.
And if somebody says MAGA, I automatically just get arrogant as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that there's something fucking wrong there.
Yeah. Yep, I had to kind of explain that to my old hairdresser today.
Yeah.
She had messaged me like yesterday and was like, I noticed we're not friends. Sorry if my Insta or Facebook offended you. And then today she pushed more and was like, I would hope that we could just agree to disagree and that yada yada yada. I would expect that of you. That's what I do. And, like, as nicely as I could, I was basically like, if you support this person who is putting not only my life, but the lives of the people I love in danger, issues such as Black Lives Matter, COVID, or lack of response to COVID, the LGBT community, just like all these things, and you support that. Like, I can't. That's where we differ on principles, and I will not agree to disagree when it's a human rights issue. I won't.
Yeah, the human rights aren't up for debate.
No. Nope.
So this isn't something to agree to disagree. No, these are facts.
Mm-hmm.
Human beings have rights.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And try to take them away and abuse them and to allow them to die. Not only just allow them to die, but hold super spreader rallies across the country.
God, yeah. Mm-hmm. And still go to events when you've tested positive.
Yeah. You know, I'm talking about, I feel great. Well, of course you do. You're on steroids. You're high as fuck, you son of a bitch. Yeah. No, that's not an agree to disagree situation.
No, I can't.
It's just not.
And she says, and I would add one more. Am I capable of authentic love? I think so. I'm getting better at not wanting to be in a codependent relationship. That was one thing that was really hard for me when I started dating Greg, because he is very independent. And I'm like, but you're not relying on me for anything. Like, I need to be doing something for you. And then, you know, I just, once I, like, went through this book, I was like, oh yeah, it is way better for us to, you know, depend on each other for some things, but not be that dependent.
Yeah, like, healthy balance, once again. Mm-hmm. For a long time, I was not capable.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I just wasn't.
Me too. Yeah, Greg said, I love you first. And at the time, I was just like, I don't even know what love is. Like, I had gotten out of a very controlling, abusive relationship. And was also coming to the realization that, like, you know, if love is how my mother treats me, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And, you know, eventually I got there. But at the time, I was burnt. Like, jaded, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I wasn't. And he taught me a lot about what love can actually be instead of what I was raised to think of it as.
Yeah, I was raised to think that it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially unconditional love.
Oh,
Mom
yeah,
said
definitely.
that's not a thing.
Ugh.
And to a degree, like, I get that there are, you know, like, if Greg tries to kill me, that would probably be a deal breaker.
Yeah,
I'd have
I hope so.
I'd have to consider it. So, I mean, there are conditions, but, like, they're extreme. Like, he would have to do some pretty extreme shit for me to be like, no, I'm done. Like,
yeah, like, be a Trump supporter.
Oh, God. Oh, I'd be so gone.
Oh, gosh. So...
Yeah, she finishes up. Very few daughters of narcissistic mothers would answer all of these questions in the affirmative, but you may see some areas that fit you. Use this list as a measuring stick for your personal growth. The two most important attributes for a healthy self and for motherhood are the ability to love and show empathy. Most daughters do possess an innate maternal instinct, even though they may feel the need to polish it. You are on your way to recovery. You have faced your past and yourself honestly and with a sense of urgency. By now you have experienced old pain and the dawn of a new freedom from your past, as well as the freedom to become yourself. You know that you cannot heal the things you cannot feel, and you have opened yourself to a new, fearless way of thinking and living your life. You know how to express yourself and your needs directly and clearly. You have freed yourself from unrealistic expectations and can follow your own values and passions. My heart will always be with you as you continue on your lifelong path of recovery and discovery.
You know what I really love? The last word in this book is discovery.
Yes.
That's the last word, discovery. Discovering who you really are is what this path is about. And I gotta say, you know, this list, it hit me like like a freaking atom bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So, and going through this book, I had a lot of moments like that. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
And I've discovered, I have a lot to work on still, especially when it comes to insecurity and being patient with myself and with others.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely have one of the narcissistic traits of just not being patient. Just no, you're wrong. Shut up. Leave me alone. That kind of thing, and it's not productive. And I have a lot of work to do in that regard. So,
Well,
yeah,
like she said, it's lifelong.
yeah, definitely. And I'm sure once I go over this book again, which I will, I'll probably do like a once a year kind of thing, check in.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I it was really helpful to go through, and I feel like I've made some progress having read it. And there were things in here that I hadn't really thought of,
Mm-hmm.
and and I've been doing like recovery work for a long time, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just now starting, it might seem like a whole lot, but just be patient with yourself and take it one step at a time. And, you know, don't be overwhelmed by it. I know it's easier said than done, but if you just look at one of the, like, you can prioritize the things you need to work on, and you'll know what the most important thing is.
Yeah.
Work on that first. Focus on that. Improve that. And you may find along the way that automatically some of the other things are being worked on as well simultaneously.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, don't give up. You're worth the effort it takes to recover.
Yes.
We're done with this book, Casey.
We are.
Holy crap, what are we going to do with
I
ourselves?
don't know.
Guess we'll look at memes.
She did write, it says more from the author. It says, "Will I ever be free of you?" That's something that I will probably look into. But yeah, it says there's an about the author. Carol McBride, PhD, LMFT, is a licensed marriage and family therapist in Denver, Colorado, with over 28 years in public and private practice. She specializes in treating clients with dysfunctional family of origin issues. For the past 17 years, Dr. McBride has been involved in private research concerning children of narcissistic parents, with a primary focus on women raised by narcissistic mothers. She has treated many daughters of narcissistic mothers in her private practice. Additional information on services provided and background experience can be found in Dr. McBride's private practice website, and they have that. The Never Good Enough book website, which includes a discussion forum for daughters, can be found at nevergoodenough.com. And to contact Dr. McBride for speaking engagements, blah, 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 email her. And I'll have all these links in the description, too, for anyone who's interested. Otherwise, the only other stuff in here, she's got a notes section and an index. So.
Nifty.
But yeah. Tis it.
Awkward ending.
Boom.
Boom, bitches.
Boom, baby.
I was thinking the other day, what if Dr. McBride ran across this series and watched it? Oh my god.
I'm sure I did everything wrong.
Hey now. Hey.
But I'd really like to hear the critique.
Yeah.
I really would.
That redhead, though. What was wrong with her? All this pushback. God.
And the other one, Jesus.
Oh, that foul language. God, do they have to? I'm a grandma. I don't need all this.
Yes, I have to. That's the end of the book, but not the end of your journey. And thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Snarky, for doing this series with me.
My pleasure. I was really honored that you asked me to do it.
Of course. I knew like our stories were just so similar. I
Yeah.
mean, right down to the medical conditions that our freaking moms had, which is weird.
No,
Um,
God.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, if I do this with anyone, it would definitely be you.
Aww.
So yeah.
Got me in the feezies again. Stop it! I'm wearing eyeliner. Oh my god.
But yeah, so thank you, audience, for joining us. Again, if this is your first video, definitely go back to the beginning. It's worth it. Take your time. To celebrate the small steps, because it is baby steps sometimes. Sometimes that's all you can do is move an inch. But it's worth it. So.
I want to say, preach and giggity.
So yeah, but I can't say join us next time because the series is over. But I guess subscribe and like and share.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be back here sometime, and I know Casey's going to continue with other videos, so definitely subscribe and hit the bell, because I mean, YouTube doesn't always notify you even if you hit the bell, but it definitely won't if you don't hit the bell.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Like the video, share it.
So yeah, and remember, life can be shit, so let's get through it together. Keep hanging in there with hashtag and Snarky.
Yeah, wet ass booty holes. Talk about shit in life. Golly.
Okay, bye. Test recording.
Yay, I'm recording a thing. You're recording a thing. Why did I say I was?
Well, you are.
I'm not actually recording.
Well, I mean, semantically, no. It's literally recording on my computer, but you're here.
Yeah. And I'm looking at some of these little doodles. That's well, I did some doodles. Weird doodles, you know. People suck, like everything. And Trey did some doodles. And over my doodles.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. What I really like is this little dude with the face.
Oh,
His
yeah.
face. His face is just, yeah. That's me. That's me as fuck. Just. Anyway, you probably can't show that on the blooper reel.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Sorry.
Well, I can blur it.
Yeah, you can blur it. I mean.
Okay, recording for realsies.
Oh, for realsies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, I'm in trouble.
Oh, yeah, I think everything is good to go.
I thought we were just like, you know, recording for funsies. I guess not. Oh,
I mean, we can.
This is real? Okay. Fine. I'll be all serious and stuff.
But yeah. So anyway, intro.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Fuck a Q. It's got an ass tickler.
Wet ass booty hole.
Oh man.
If y'all are on Twitter.
Yeah.
If y'all are on Twitter, you know the contact. Maybe you can screenshot it and put it up there or
Oh
something.
yeah, I'll put it up.
Here it is.
Tweets.
I'm sure Casey's got it up for you right now.
Yes,
I don't, but
I sure do.
I don't see it, but
Future
I know
does.
it's future me will watch it and giggle because I probably have forgotten about the wet ass booty hole by now.
Right? Yeah.
But I totally needed a reminder.
Oh yeah.
Do some giggling, Snarks.
I need to upgrade to the Booty Hole Pro.
Upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wet ass booty hole.
Oh my god.
Oh, that girl killed me. Wet with what?
Right? With what? It's like,
oh shit.
I want to know, but I also don't want to know.
I think we know anyway.
I don't know, like, cause
yeah, we know.
I'm not into like anal play or anything, but like I've read about it, and you clean yourself up beforehand. So there's typically like an enema that's done. So
beforehand or before fist.
Yeah, right? So you should be like totally clean, and since the colon doesn't produce lubrication, typically lube is needed, but apparently for that chick on Twitter, she just always has a wet ass booty. It's a web.
That's gross.
I don't. Just seriously. She's like, we are not the same. I'm like, no, we are not. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Oh, but I mean, all in all, it depends. I'm terrible. I don't know why y'all put up with me. I really don't.
No, you're funny.
Oh, yay! Well, want to see why I'm a narcissist?
Right. So, why we are narcissists?
Yeah.
Head on.
What?
I said head on.
Oh, head on. I thought you said hang on. I'm like,
oh, I'm sorry.
What are we? No, it's not your fault. I just didn't hear you. Like, whoa, what happened? Is the UPS guy here? Because we usually don't hold for that.
Not yet. FedEx came already, and they rang the doorbell.
Oh, well, they don't count. They're FedEx. They're not the UPS guy.
It's true. The truck isn't nearly as loud. In fact, yeah. I didn't hear it. I was in here, and I didn't hear it.
The packages aren't usually as big either.
Ooh, that's what she said.
Okay. Anyway.
Vaginas.
Yeah. Oh, I want some fajitas. Holy shit. Okay.
I'm so hungry.
Me too. Oh my god, we're gonna have what is it called? Baked ziti. I've never made it before, but Maddie told me how to make it, and I'm gonna have that tonight. Pasta with cheese and more cheese.
I've had it at Fazoli's, but it's probably way better at home.
Oh, I heard Fazoli's ain't that great.
It's not. Like, it's great if you kind of want Italian, but don't want to, like, wait, and you just want it fast. Yeah, it's fine. Their breadsticks are amazing. I will say that. But, yeah, it's not...
What's Olive Garden's excuse, then? Because, like, you gotta wait for that pasta and you get it and it's awful. That's just my opinion. I think Olive Garden is the worst. They got great breadsticks. They got some good soups. Salads are great.
Dressing. Oh. Love that shit.
But the pasta, y'all overcook it, man. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, once we ordered from Rosati's by us, that was it. They do Italian very well, and I just can't with anything else.
Nah, once you've had good Italian, you can't go back.
No.
You just can't.
Mm-mm.
That's some good stuff. Okay.
How did we
So
get on food?
we're hungry.
Oh.
And I was talking about, I'm sorry, dear, I'm making fajitas. Go Google it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, was that me or you?
Our echo is going off in the living room.
All I heard was a boom, bloom.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I know that sound. Is that me?
I just hear Greg in there. Alexa, stop.
Always happens at the worst moments. Oh my God. I was on the phone with my son Luke and we said something, and I guess I said the word, you know, the call word or whatever for, because I changed it to like computer, because Star Trek, you know, computer, tell me something, you know, a joke or whatever. And somebody said it, and it started like just telling us this long Google search that it did. And
here's what I found on the web.
And Luke was like, what was that? So funny. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think it was a notification, because every now and then, based on your order history, she'll be like, it's based on your order history, it may be time to reorder blah.
Yeah.
So we'll get those every now and then.
I got one for a survey the other day, and before I could answer, Maddie already rated something as a 1.
Was it a 1?
No, it was not a 1.
Oh, that's horrible.
Maddie. I forget what it was. Oh my God. It was something that was a good product. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway. So I'm not sure how Maddie looks on the inside. But I mean, we could always find out, I guess. We could do like an ultrasound or something.
You got a good-looking kidney.
Ooh, baby, that liver. Ooh. It'll go great with some fava beans.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
I had to. Now I've been accosted.
Remember to reciprocate. There it is.
The timing.
Right?
Oh my God. Reciprocate the ding dong.
Right? Oh, yes. Man. Oh, I kicked my camera.
Oh, no. That's great.
So I guess we did get a ding dong after all.
Giggity. Giggity goo.
Right?
This, like...
I need to fix my lip.
Uh-oh. Did your lip fall off?
It did.
It faded?
It did.
It's fading away. You know, red is really such a good color for you. Like,
oh, thank you.
All of the colors that I've seen look great on you, but like I really love the red. I don't know what it is.
Thanks.
Like
it's
very few people can pull it off. Like I know I can't. So I'm a little jelly. Anyway.
Well, thank you.